if you're dating someone and they cheat on you, are you mad at the person that they cheated on you with? Or do you get mad at your significant other for doing the cheating?
Having neither.
I feel like that's a valid question because a lot of people would say that they're mad at the person their significant other cheated on them with, but that doesn't really make much sense to me because at the end of the day, they don't owe you anything. So why get mad at them as if they're going to care? Which is exactly what this man, Tony Martinez, did when he found out that his wife was cheating on him with Steve Smith Sr., ex-Panthers receiver.
See, this guy is Tony Martinez, and he has a wife named Nicole, who actually is in the marching band for the Baltimore Ravens. Anyway, Tony decided yesterday he was just gonna randomly create a Twitter account, and his very first post was calling out his wife for having an affair with Steve Smith Sr.
Tony decided to put out a tweet adding a bunch of people, ESPN, Yeti, Antonio Brown for some reason, and a couple other people. He put in this little description basically saying that Steve Smith was screwing his wife and he had receipts and proof and all this other stuff. The thing is, I understand him putting the tweet out because apparently Steve Smith is married with 4 kids, and the timelines that people were basically coming up with was that Steve Smith, because Tony's wife actually is on the band for the Baltimore Ravens, and back in November, Steve Smith led out the Ravens band. They're saying that's probably the time all this fraternizing began. I understand you wanting to mess up his situation because now your situation is messed up, but he also released a phone call, which is what everybody's been talking about. He released a phone call, a video of him on the phone with Steve Smith confronting him, and it just made him look so much worse. It didn't help his case at all. It didn't give him any points, any sympathy. It really just made him look terrible.
Hey, yo, Steve.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you've been f***ing my wife, bro. What you gotta say for yourself?
I'm sorry.
You're sorry? You f***ing knew she was married. You're not a f***ing idiot, man. You're f***ing Steve Smith Sr. What kind of dumb was that? Why are you quiet, man? Be a f***ing man. Steve. You ain't a f***ing man, bro. All that you do on TV, all that talking you do to other people. Now someone's got you on the phone, you can't even man up.
You have to address your significant other, not the other guy. There's a bunch of awkward pauses in the phone call as he's confronting Steve. And I'm gonna be honest, realistically, I think Steve was just putting the phone on mute because it was just so quiet. And the guy's like, why are you quiet now? Why are you quiet now? Be a man. Why aren't you saying anything? I don't think that he was like shocked or nervous or scared or anything. I think he was realistically putting the phone on mute and laughing, like laughing at the situation, because there's no way you're calling my phone about some stuff that your wife did with me and you're telling me you knew she was married, this and that, blah blah blah. That's none of my business.
I did what I was supposed to do. She threw it, I caught it. I'm a receiver.
Now, to be fair, Steve Smith Sr., he's married too with 4 kids, so I mean, he committed infidelity as well. But Steve Smith isn't married to this guy, so he doesn't owe him anything. Steve Smith doesn't owe him the respect to not indulge in adult activity with his wife. Steve Smith don't know you. He just knows that this chick is on his meat stick. He just trying to, do what he got to do. I mean, he just handling business. She pressing him at the rim. Maybe he was pressing her.
Now listen, this is what you don't do. This is as a man, understanding. That's my wife, girlfriend. Someone you're seeing, someone you're talking to. You never confront the individual because Steve Smith Sr. owes you no loyalty.
Steve Smith ain't married to you, bro.
She's not married. Steve is not married to you. You talk to your wife. You check your wife, and that goes for any and everybody. I know a lot of people you want to crash out about your woman and all this stuff, man.
Or your man.
Or your man. Listen, it goes both ways. It always comes down to me again. Understand who you're marrying. Understand human nature. Human nature is undefeated. I'm gonna say that as well. I don't care how people come off. I don't care how innocent they may seem. I don't care how much they tell you they love you. When certain opportunities present themselves, they gonna go.
I don't really know what he expected from Steve. Steve ended up apologizing. He said he was sorry, and then he abruptly ended the call. I just think it's funny how the Tony guy was trying to make it seem as if he was kind of big boying Steve on the phone call, being a tough guy. You're trying to big dog someone who had a very lucrative or successful career in the NFL. This is over the phone. He probably wasn't even taking you serious. Like I said, I think he was honestly muting the phone and just laughing in between. Even when he said, "I'm sorry," it seemed like he didn't really take the situation serious at all, which if I'm Steve, I wouldn't either. Not saying it was right. You know, what Steve did was wrong. He shouldn't have fraternized with someone else's wife, let alone committing infidelity on his own wife. I do think there will be some consequences to be had for his actions alongside hers. She actually put out this long statement, which a lot of people were saying they think the husband made her put that statement out, or honestly typed it up himself just because of the way it was written. Yeah, I mean, you know, it was just two adults taking advantage of a situation. They're grown. They can do what they want. Yeah, that guy just kind of made himself look so bad though. The screenshots were wicked between Steve Smith Sr. and Tony's wife.
Yeah, so Steve said, see, now you're teasing me. Wow, you look stunning. About to go to work. I'm getting a little chuck. And then autocorrected chunky.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, take me deep down your throat like you kind of like. You wanted to suck me off. She said, I did. I would have gagged on it, but I had to come home. He wrote back, you enjoy it. You like to feel it. She said, I like feeling it deep in my wet body. He replied, me too. Letting you taste it, though, would be a turn on. I would have shot my all inside your pussy. This is so brutal. She replied, I love making you come. I enjoy it more when you come inside me. He replied, noted.
From putting out the screenshots to releasing the phone call video and the big tweet that he put out, basically adding all these people, these big corporations and networks, the tweet that his wife put out, it didn't look good. Steve Smith this, Steve Smith that. He's not married to you. That's not your wife. You need to be talking to your wife, not Steve. I don't really know where you go from here. I mean, it's looking like they're going to be getting divorced, which is fair. If I'm him, I wouldn't want to be with someone who is cheating on me. As far as Steve, I'm sure him and his wife will have some things they need to discuss. Most of everyone is pretty much just making fun of Tony, but that's how social media is. Normally how it goes on social media, they don't take anything seriously. Shout out to Tony. I feel for you, thug. I'm sorry. I know you hurting. Probably wasn't the best way to go about this situation. Steve Smith, you wrong for that. You know you wrong for that.
Well, listen. He said he's sorry. He said he's sorry, Unc.
It is what it is. Shit happens.
Don't worry, it won't take too long. Don't worry, it won't take too long.